I think we had a great meeting this morning. We wanted to really explore the question of what do funders need to know about how young people use technology, how we as funders should be thinking about projects that use technology. And we had some great speakers, and I think there were a couple of highlights for me really, because one of the things that was in our minds was obviously we recognise there's some good things about tech and digital for young people, and there's some not such good things about tech and digital. I think that Dan Such from CAST presented some data that I certainly had never heard about before. So forgetting bad images or unpleasant comments that young people might come across, even when a young person is looking for help, say around mental health difficulties, and they were to Google mental health support, Dan described that something like 250,000 hits will come up, and of those 0.1% have any evidence that they work to help young people. So for me, this opens up a whole other thing to worry about, which is even when support seems to be out there, it isn't sure that it's going to be helpful, and it may even create more harm for that young person. So that was one stat, let's say, that really leapt out. I think the other big thing that came out of the meeting was that digital puts a spotlight, let's say, on a pretty fundamental issue for funders. So I think it's put a spotlight on something that is relevant to all that we do as funders. And that thing is around the way that often we want to fund something, or we ask applicants to propose something which has a clear purpose. It says, this is what we want to do, this is how we're going to do it, and this is what we're going to achieve. And actually what we've heard this morning is definitely in the tech space, but probably in other spaces that we occupy as well. We need to think much, much more carefully about giving good organisations the time and the space and the resources to really understand the issue that they're trying to address, rather than asking them to leap forward and say, well, we're going to do this, this and this, and we think it will have this outcome, because often it won't, and it might miss a trick. So I think that willingness to say we don't have to see the impact in 1 year or even in 2 years, but what we know is that organisations need to spend time exploring, discovering and getting under the skin of issues if they're going to be able to work out what to really do effectively about those issues. So yeah, those are the two things that I think were really important from this morning.